G'day everyone, my name is Aaron Birkby and I'm one of the facilitators for this program. And this is my welcome and introduction video just to let you know who I am so you have a context, I guess, for my background, my experience and the experience base that I'm speaking from during the content delivery of the next 5 weeks that we'll be together. I'm actually recording this from home, so you've got the joys of as soon as I started recording, someone started mowing their lawn. But you'll probably be seeing a lot of my house as I deliver content from here during the program. But by background, look, I've spent most of my life as an entrepreneur, mostly in technology companies. I actually started coding at the age of 8 and was just fascinated by software, the fact that you could create something from nothing. I started my first software business in my teenage years. I converted my maths and science notes into software and sold it on CD-ROMs at the time to other students, to school teachers at other schools. And yeah, basically continued that through university, which just provided a nice little cash flow. But never really took business seriously. I had a job with PwC for a while. I was a lawyer for a while. Both of those long enough to realise that the corporate world wasn't for me. I spent some time in government, worked in some intelligence roles, which I absolutely loved, also some policy roles. But it wasn't until really, I guess, starting a restaurant with my brothers, and I wrote some software to work in that restaurant to deliver internet access that was metered based on the dollar spend in the restaurant. And at the time, no one was doing that in the world. And we ended up quickly selling more of that software to surrounding hotel owners when they came in on their day off. And so spun that out into a business, which over the space of 9 years, we grew to have 6 million users in 9 countries, about 2,200 points of presence off a client base that included chains like Hilton, Ridges, but also a lot of shopping centres like Westfield was a client, a lot of mining camps. But out of that, also spun up a couple of other little small startups after I sold it. So I did an IoT startup, which we managed to launch and sell within about 9 months. And also some sensory type startups into the mining sector. So all up, I've probably started about 16 businesses, and they're just the ones I count where I've actually formed a company or a business name. But look, seriously, I didn't really take many of them seriously. The ones that I did took seriously and really ran and took through to exit, I've been lucky enough to exit 4 companies. I've invested a small amount of money, like a tiny amount of money, into 9 companies, which was just enough for me to realize that it's not so much that I joke sometimes saying I'm a bad investor. It's more that I'm much more an entrepreneur than an investor. I like to be in control and have the driver's seat. But the beauty of the last 7 years of my life, in fact now coming up to 8, is that I've had a chance to work in the startup ecosystem on the other side, so supporting supporting founders and also working with a lot of investors. And I did that through setting up a startup hub on the Gold Coast called Silicon Lakes, which I ran as a not-for-profit. And we did that for 3 years. And look, I learned a lot, got a lot wrong in that process. In fact, in my entire entrepreneurship career, I've got a lot wrong. I remember saying to a coach once that I think I've made every mistake possible in business. And he just laughed and said, no, you're only just getting started, which was, I don't know if it was reassuring or actually scary as all hell. But also being an entrepreneur in residence for the River City Labs Accelerator program in partnership with Telstra. I've also set up pre-accelerators and accelerators, previously designed accelerator programs. I designed the Ipswich Fire Station 101 hub. So I was engaged there to design the space, the business model, the marketing, and ultimately hire the first space manager over there, and worked with a lot of regional cities to develop their innovation hubs and innovation programs and activation programs. But also, luckily, I was the CEO of Startup Catalyst for 3.5 years. And in that role, for those of you who don't know Catalyst, it was all about taking Aussies overseas. So lots of missions to Silicon Valley, into Israel, into London, into Berlin, into places like Seattle, Boulder, Colorado. And that just gave me an amazing exposure to how entrepreneurs are developed and enhanced and how they operate and think in different markets and in different cultures. I've even been lucky enough through the Venturer program and through other programs to visit places like Mongolia and see the startup ecosystem there. Through Techstars and my role with Startup Weekend, I've had the luxury of seeing the startup ecosystem in places like downtown Vegas in the US, but also, and that's a model for rejuvenation of a city right there, but also in places like KL, Malaysia. And it turns out we have this common entrepreneurship language. Entrepreneurship is something that is universal. It's a mindset, and once you're in the club, you can literally travel the globe and make change and have impact anywhere. What else? I've also been on the board of Startup Oz, but more recently, and the reason I'm here with all of you awesome humans, is I am one of the entrepreneurs in residence now at QUT. And I really love what QUT Entrepreneurship is doing. So QUT is positioning entrepreneurship across the entire university community, regardless of whether you're a student, a high degree researcher, an academic, or an administrative staff member. We want every single human that comes in touch with QUT to also be touched by this entrepreneurial thinking. Because regardless of what you intend to do with your career, having an entrepreneurial mindset will absolutely put you in the best position possible to not just survive change, but to actually be a change maker. And when you're someone who's a change maker, then you are never out of a comfort zone when change is happening to you. You actually thrive in those environments. So I'm really looking forward to kicking off this next level program with all of you. I'm super excited. It looks like we have a really good cohort, very diverse. Some of you have been in business for 17 years. Some of you are just starting your very first business. And I love this. I've worked with entrepreneurs who have first-time founders through to entrepreneurs who are serial founders. I've worked with entrepreneurs who are exiting in the 100 million range or 300 million range, through to founders who are struggling to get a dollar in the door. And I think we're going to experience many of those ranges during this program. In terms of how it works, so you should all now be in the Slack channel if you're seeing this in particular. That will be our main community where we live. The video content for each week, so every week we'll be sending you videos which can contain the educational content for the program. You have to consume those in your own time before Tuesday night each week. On Tuesday night at 6 o'clock, that's when we sort of have our masterclass tutorial time. And this is where the other facilitators and I basically help you apply the knowledge, the theory, into the practical reality for your venture. It's also a chance for you to ask questions and for us to dive deeper into the content. Then on Thursday nights, we come together, and this is scheduled time for group work. So for you as a team to actually do. And so much of entrepreneurship is about doing. You'll find that this course is nothing like any other university subject that you have touched. This subject is entirely about doing. No amount of theory will actually build a business for you. You have to get out of the building and do. And so we're going to force you to get a lot done execution-wise and hustle. And break things and make mistakes and fail, because it's through those moments that we learn. So look, all ideas are welcome, all questions are welcome. Please reach out at any time if I can help you with anything at all. I'm very available, so please do ask the question and connect. Otherwise, looking forward to hearing all of your introductions. Please drop them. If you're not comfortable doing a video, and ideally if you do a video, please use a compression software to shrink it down, because otherwise these files end up huge. But yeah, shrink your videos, drop an introduction if you're comfortable. Otherwise, just a text introduction is perfectly suitable. But really looking forward to getting to know you all quite intimately during the next 5 weeks.